Hi there, beautiful souls. It's Grada Robertson here. I am a coach and a healer. I've worked for 20 years with many clients, thousands of clients, heard many stories, and tonight I felt inspired to do a little bit of a practice to help you really connect with the purpose of your life, or how to make your life more meaningful. And I'm going to take you through a little practice that will be absolutely fun to do. First of all, I really hope that you're enjoying your evening wherever this finds you. I'm in my beautiful reception area here in the clinic, and I'll just show you how beautiful it is. Look, I've got the door open. It's 8 o'clock. It's just a beautiful temperature still, and that's my garden outside. Okay. Oops, sorry guys. Alright, I'll concentrate now. So I feel very lucky to live in a beautiful part of the world, and so I want to share something with you that I found very helpful myself. So people often get confused with the meaning of life as happiness, right? So lots of people believe that they have to chase happiness, and if I can only be happy, or if I have this or that, then I will be happy. And so this is something that many humans get caught up in doing, and actually they don't realize though that a part of their being will remain unfulfilled, because the focus needs to be on what gives your life meaning, what will give your life more meaning and deeper meaning. And that's how you live a fulfilled life, connected to your soul and to your purpose. So first of all, I also want to remind you again that there's only one of you in the entire world, in all amongst the billions of people. Your life is important, and your soul purpose, your purpose matters. And it also matters very much to the divine and to the universe that you have a meaningful life. And you could even say that God or Source or the divine has invested heavily into you, into even that you find the meaning of life, that you connect with it. And so when people pursue happiness, happiness is a fleeting thing, right? And the meaning of life is not a fleeting thing, it's a constant thing. That's an internal experience. So the meaning of life is not something out there that somebody will give to you and now you suddenly have meaning. It's like an internal experience, and because it is internal, it's something that you have power over it. You can grow it, you can nurture it. It's like your garden. And it gives you a beautiful sense of security, and happiness will arise from that. But even at times when you're suffering, and everyone will go through different times that there is suffering, or there is loss and so on, or pain, but life will still be meaningful for you. So in a minute I'm going to do a short guided meditation, and you need a piece of paper and a pen to write down a few things to uncover what potentially could be the meaning of your life, because many people don't know what their purpose is, and but there are ways to find out. So 3 things I've discovered in working with thousands of people over the years. I know definitely there are 3 things that will hinder you from leading a meaningful life, right? Number 1, you're living in boots that are too small for you. There is a saying, oh, you're too big for your boots, or something like that. And this teaches us to live a small life. But again, this is a lie. You have to question that. And I'm going to encourage you to step into some really big boots, like huge. Just make them really big, and then you have room to grow, because your soul always wants to grow. That is one of the primary needs of your being as a human being. Your soul wants to grow. So bigger boots. So don't shrink yourself, because living a small life, and it often means hiding and not grabbing hold of life with both hands, It might feel safe, but your soul is suffering, and it's always then, you know, banging on the door of your heart, wanting to change something. So that's number one. Number two is that we're unconsciously copying our parents, and our parents copy their parents, and so on. So parental programming, or our primary caretakers, is so deeply embedded in our subconscious mind that we will actually never be free from it, never. And so, like, even if you say, well, I didn't like the way my mom handled those kind of situations, so I don't want to be like my mom, so you at least have that awareness, but then you're unconsciously spending energy resisting your mom or your dad or your grandparents, and you actually still end up being like them. You've probably already discovered that that's the case. So the truth is, you always have those programs in the back of your subconscious mind. They will be running the show a little bit, especially when you're stressed. You'll notice they'll pop up, and suddenly you realize, oh wow, I just behaved like my father then, or something like that. The thing is to have compassion on yourself, just ease off on that pressure, and just remain curious how you can be different, and also start believing in yourself that you're a genius. You're not just the product of your DNA, because actually at the moment of conception, your soul does a holographic imprint that overlays the whole DNA patterning and all the genes. So your soul is the genius part. So just remember, you can hook into your soul, and then you'll be automatically completely different to your parents. So in the meditation, any meditation that you do, by the way, connects you with your soul. And then number three, this is probably the most common one, is that people live their lives on autopilot. So autopilot is just like, okay, well, you're not really awake, you're not really asleep. You just hop in the car and you go from A to B, and you live your life. You eat and drink, you socialize, you come home, and you know, you go to work and so on. You go through all your daily activities, but it's like part of you, your heart isn't really in it. And I see this a lot in people. And so, like, your life purpose is definitely not to blend in with the crazy world around you, because the world has always been crazy. Society has always been crazy. It's just only now, today, like the last few years with the pandemic, that it's even crazier than before. And it's really like the divine is telling you, don't fit in, right? Find your own meaning of life, find your own position. How do you position yourself? Believe in yourself, believe in your own spirit, believe in your soul purpose, and what is the meaning of your life, and how can you even, from a day-to-day, create deeper meaning in your life, right? And it doesn't depend on your circumstances. Thankfully it doesn't, because, you know, there is a famous psychologist or psychiatrist, I forget his name now, who wrote a really important book. I think it's called The Meaning of Life. And he survived a concentration camp, and he did a study. He realized that people who knew the meaning, who were connected of the meaning of their life, they had a meaningful life and purpose. Those people in the prisoners survived the concentration camps, and others who didn't have that connection, they simply died. So there are studies done to prove this as well, but it makes sense as well, right? That meaning of life is an internal experience. So, like, even if you're happily married, like I am, Pete and I have been together for many, many years, 40 plus years or something like that, crazy. 43 years actually, but what gives my life meaning is not always the same as Peter's, right? So I am listening to my own inner guidance, and I feel happiest when Peter does the same thing. So so it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, this is your own empowerment. And so yeah, so the big remedy to, like, being different to your parents, to snap out of autopilot, and to grow some bigger boots, like doing a big project, stepping up, showing up, being seen, sharing yourself in different ways, taking risks. The biggest remedy for all that is to just constantly ask yourself, what is the meaning of my life? And you ask that to the universe, because unless you ask, you're not going to get an answer. So we always have to ask first. The universe knows what the meaning of your life is, right? And so this is so important, because many people have regrets on their deathbed. You've probably also read stories of that. And so if they have regrets, the number one regret is always that they felt like they didn't live life to the fullest, they didn't take risks, they didn't show up, they lived a small life, and they wished that they had lived a bigger life. So you can learn from that. Okay, so and I like to talk about it this time of the year, because I nearly died in 2006 in January when I got hit by a truck, and then again in 2013 when I needed life-saving operation, because I had chronic bowel blockages and nothing, I wasn't digesting anything anymore from scar tissue. And so twice, you could say, I had a date with death. Like I literally was like that far away from death. I was staring death in the eyes, people would say that. And I was conscious, at least I was conscious of the fact that I didn't have any regrets. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And I think one reason why I didn't have any regrets, because I've always had the motto, like, if it's to be, it's up to me. So I always expect me to step up, and me, like big me, little me, scary me, courageous me. I'm not always very brave, but just to step up, and I realize it's up to me. So I take accountability, and then I also always check in and I ask myself, am I still on the right track? Or is there something I'm not seeing here? Do I need to turn the steering wheel around? And then another thing, I've always risked everything. Like, so I do jump in boots and all, and then I swim like crazy, and sometimes that's been hard on the family or hard on me, but that's how I've lived my life. So and so it's taken me a long time to kind of dismantle how I have lived my life, and how I did get to the point that even though there was a lot of suffering as well, I had like 7 years of pretty intense suffering after I got hit by a truck. And on the surface, I smiled and I showed happiness. But the happiness came because I had meaning. Like my soul was constantly telling me, just keep going, you're on the right track, even though you're in a lot of pain and you're suffering now and you're not showing up the way you want to be yet, because my body wasn't following my orders. And then I had mental illness for quite a few years, and the children were going through important stages and I wasn't always there for them. But so there was a lot of suffering there, and disappointments and hardships, but at the same time I felt like I was still connected to my purpose. So I think that was a real big learning curve for me. And so being connected to the meaning of life constantly also means reinventing yourself, because even if you don't get hit by a truck, and I hope you never will be, you will still find that you constantly outgrow your life, and that's normal, right? Suddenly you're not happy anymore with your circumstances, and something needs to change, and it means you've just had a growth spurt, and now your soul is saying, okay, I want you to try something else. So here is what I want you to do. I hope this makes sense to you, right? And I hope that it encourages you to really understand that your life is very important. You're also unique. You have a unique soul purpose. Your life has an important meaning. And if you don't know what it is yet, or if it's not very clear, this little practice is going to help you a little bit. And if you need more help, you can definitely book in for a session with me, or a few sessions, and I can help you bring you in alignment with your soul. So first of all, let's just drop into our body, And just take a nice cleansing breath through your nose and into the back. Just take your presence, your attention further back, into the back of your body and down. So you always go backwards and downwards. And that energy flow is very calming. Just feel your feet on the floor. Just feel a sense of appreciation for yourself, for your body, for all the cells in your body, for your own inner intelligence, the inner genius. And just breathe into your body and relax. It's all going to be alright. Everything is in order. Nothing needs to change right now. And just feel your heart, your chest. And just see how calm it is in the back of your body. And then feel the weight of the lower part of your body, your hips, your legs, your feet, nice and heavy. Just feel like really grounded and weighty. Just connect deeply into the ground. It's very, very calming, and now you're connecting to the universe, and different thoughts will come into your body. Now you'll have a different perspective. And so just with your eyes shut and just in a beautiful relaxed state, I want you to remember a time that you felt really, really happy and just fully alive. And just like as if you couldn't be happier and totally fulfilled. You were literally bubbling over. And just take yourself back to the time in your life when that was the case, when the event happened. And it can be a long way back, like when you were a very young child, or any time during your life. Just allow that picture to spring to mind right now, on the mental screen of your mind. Okay, so now I want you to just hold on to that picture, but in the back of your mind. Just put it in the back of your mind. And I want you to think of a second time that you felt like so happy. Just like everything felt so good. Everything felt like you felt completely aligned. You were happy in your soul, in your body, in your heart, in your mind. And just bubbling over and excited maybe. Or maybe not excited, but you just felt so good. Fully to be alive, to be fully alive. And what was going on for you then? So just hold on to that picture and that feeling. And just allow your mind to drift to another event. So this is the third one. And again, you were just so happy and just so alive. You just never felt so alive before. You literally felt like every cell of your body is bubbling over with happiness, joy even. And you're so grateful to be you and to be alive, and just that you came into this earth suit and spent some time on planet Earth. And what was happening for you then? So just now in your mind you have 3 events or 3 incidences. And if you need more time, you can stop the video and just take a little bit more time, because sometimes it takes more time. So you find 3 experiences. And so you can just keep your eyes shut for a minute. And now I'm going to ask you, what was the same thing in all 3 experiences? Like, what was the common theme? Is there a common theme? And something might jump out at you. So for instance, you can say, well, in all those 3 incidences I was outside. Or perhaps you were inside. Perhaps all of them were inside in a certain spot. Or perhaps you were alone in all the 3 incidences that you felt happy. Perhaps that was the common theme. Or perhaps you were always with the same person. Or perhaps you were with groups of people. Perhaps you were with animals. Perhaps you were in a certain country. Maybe you were on the sea. So just question yourself, and again you can pause the video. I'm keeping my eyes closed to help you connect to your subconscious mind, which steps to the fore when you close your eyes. So it's better if your eyes are closed, because the memories come from the subconscious. They need to come from the deep subconscious area where you are connected to your soul. Right. So, for instance, perhaps all 3 times you were a child, or perhaps in all 3 experiences you were with a dog. I'll just use that example now. And so the reason I'm asking, and you can take some time, this is important because this matters to you. You can take some time to write down what springs to mind and really let it bubble to the fore. So I'm going to use an example now. For instance, if in all 3 experiences, let's say you were, maybe you were cooking, I'll make that up. So then something, your life purpose, right now anyway, could be to do with food, or something like nurturing people or nurturing yourself. Or if, for instance, in each experience you had a dog, or there were animals or insects, who knows what, right? That means that your life purpose is somehow involved around animals. And for instance, if you're doing an office job now, that means it's time, your soul is crying out for change. You need to devote your life something to do with animals. If in each event maybe you are outside, so that means that you need either more connection to outside, or you need to find your calling is literally something to do with the outside world. Or for instance, if your happiest moments you were engaged in a sporting activity, you know, maybe that means you need to do something with fitness or with sport or whatever. So everyone is unique, right? Everyone has a completely unique purpose, and your purpose is also called your calling. So your calling arises up from the subconscious mind, and by the way, it's called a calling because it's always calling out to you, and even if you ignore it, it will be playing the music, or it will be playing in the room next to you, literally. So, I mean, you'll never be free from it, so you may as well find out what your calling is. Yeah. Thank you, Manny, Viktor Frankl, that's right. Thank you for that. So, meaningful, so this will help to give your life meaning. So let's say animals showed up in your happy moments, but you find yourself in an office job. I'm not going to say that you have to resign tomorrow, but I am definitely saying that you're going to have to do something, open the door at least, that will allow activity with animals into your life, and the universe will gently guide you through the door, and it will open up more opportunities. And it's going to, you know, really give you one experience after another that will bring you into alignment with the universe, so with your soul, and then you will be happy. Your life will have meaning. So even if you are stuck in a prison, let's say you're a prisoner, your life can still have meaning. Nothing and nobody can detract from that. That was the same with me. I got hit by a truck, and my circumstances, of course, changed dramatically. Like, I was in a prison overnight. I literally was in, you could say, in hell, because like I couldn't move my body. And when you can't move your body, you can't do anything. That's obvious. And I was stuck in a hospital room and completely dependent on other people to keep me alive. And so, but the thing is, the meaning of life hadn't changed for me, if that makes sense. So this is your internal treasure, and it's so important that you find it again, and that you amplify it, that you deepen it, and that you constantly ask yourself, what is the meaning of my life? Because this is so important. So I'm hoping that was clear to you, that it's a good reminder at the start of 2020. And remember, it's nothing to do with your circumstances. If anything, your circumstances will prompt you and push you to dig deeper and to bring out the meaning of life. And like I said before, it's definitely never to do with like fitting in or blending in with the crazy world around you. Okay, so it's about finding your own voice, finding your purpose, finding more meaning, connecting with that, sharing that with others, growing into it. So you're like that big oak tree in the garden, right? That offers shade to people around you, and then you can be the blessing that you're meant to be. And just remember that the divine, the universe, has invested everything into you. Like the world would have still been created if you had been the only human. So I just want you to remember that. Alrighty, so please go and play with this exercise for the rest of the week. Just remember happy times. Drop back into that space, and you'll find that, you know, maybe this week the happy times that you remember might be different to in a month's time if you were to do the practice again. So whatever comes up for you today is relevant to today. And so that will help you to grow some big boots and live a big life and feel like fully alive and happy and meaningful. Thanks everyone. Yeah, I love that purpose as well. And I'm sure you're doing that already, Tammy. And so it's about moving into that even more so and growing into that role, which you're doing already. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and just let me know if you have any questions, put them in the comments or just send me a message, and let me know what's going on for you, and hope you have a really wonderful week ahead of you. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.